Today is going to be about experimentation. Well, my whole week was about experimenting, but you'll just get to see it in this short video. I've seen a lot of artists who work in oil paint using acrylic paint to make their underpaintings, and I was intrigued by this and wanted to try it out for myself. But I also thought, what about other paints? I normally work in watercolor and gouache, and as far as I can remember, I have never seen anyone use these types of paint on canvas over top of acrylic. So I thought I would try it out in this video. I started with gouache. I love the way gouache looks when painted on smooth surfaces, but I've never used it on a canvas before. I was surprised at how well the paint covered the canvas. There were a lot of places where the application of acrylic paint was streaky, but once I went over it with gouache, you couldn't tell. I also love how vibrant and rich the colors are on the canvas. I was afraid at first that the colors would look muddy. I did have a problem that I didn't anticipate though. I had the worst time trying to blend everything, and the paint would dry terribly fast. If I applied the paint and immediately blended it with another color, it was all fine and dandy. But if I didn't get right to blending the second the paint was down, it just would not blend. I tried adding water to re-wet the paint, but this resulted in a splotchy effect. I was really confused as to why it did that, but I think looking back at it, since the paint did such a good job covering the canvas with such a thin layer, when I added the water, I turned it almost transparent, so the acrylic layer was showing through. In the end, I think I managed to figure out some solutions, and the final piece looks pretty good. Next, I tried watercolor. Since watercolor is so transparent, I was afraid that you wouldn't be able to see it at all, or it wouldn't make much difference. I even thought about doing a white flower just in case the watercolor did nothing but slightly tint the canvas. But boy was I wrong. It surprised me with how pigmented it was. This is perhaps because I used it quite concentrated at first, but even the green, which was much more diluted with water, ended up standing out quite strongly. Now you can still see the canvas texture through the paint, and I think if I hadn't done as good a job with the acrylic layer, it would have definitely told on me, but I'm super pleased with how this turned out. It actually kind of reminds me a little bit of alcohol ink on tile. I think if I were to make a more detailed acrylic painting and use watercolor just to add some effects, the result would be really neat. I might actually try that in the near future. Lastly, I tried the traditional oil over acrylics. I knew this one would work, but I've never actually done it myself. I don't paint in oils much. A few reasons for that. One being I am quite a messy painter and oil paint is the worst to try to clean up. And two, because I'm not a very patient painter and I want the paint to be dry the second I'm done with one layer so I can start on the next. But I have to say that I really enjoyed painting this one. The oil paint went on so smoothly and it covered the canvas so nicely, and it was just so easy to blend. I think if I had been a little more patient with this one, the end result would have been better. But this experience has made me actually like oil paint. So after all this experimenting is over and done with, what are my thoughts? So overall, the gouache was the hardest to work with. It didn't flow as well, and the more water I added, the splotchier it got. I think with a little practice, I could get the hang of it and create some really cool pieces because I really do like the finish on this one. It's uniform and matte. The watercolor was the most fun to work with. It flowed very well, and though I had to walk away and let it dry between each color, it was probably the fastest piece to paint. I love the effect the watercolor gives, and I think I'll definitely be using this a little bit more in the future. Even though I've already said I don't normally like to paint in oils, this piece is probably my favorite out of the three. I think if I get better at being patient and walking away from a piece to let it dry, then I could really see myself painting in oils more often. So what do you think? Which one's your favorite? Will you be trying out any of these? Let me know in the comments, along with any questions or suggestions you have. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe for weekly videos. Also follow me on Facebook and Instagram for daily art posts. Have a great day. Bye.